Yo, what is up, Ellen Ave? I don't like how I said it all, actually. Sup? This is Ellen Ave. This is Side Hustle by Ellen Ave. You're about to listen or watch an episode that I did with Rebecca Marie a little while back, but we're just getting around to putting it out now. I actually never thought or knew if this episode would see the light of the day because it was a concept and an idea that I wasn't sure if I wanted to do with the show, which was focusing down on business and just sort of talking about business ideas and how you could do them or how you could do side hustles to make yourself a bit of extra money. It's something I'm really interested in, which is why I'm going to focus the show on that. I'm still going to be doing all of my other stuff, but just in terms of what I put out on the podcast, it's just going to be sort of those side hustles, talking business chats, money making, all those sorts of things. This one, Rebecca, is really cool. We talk about sort of 4 or 5 things that she's actually done in terms of what she did, how she did it, how long it took her, was it worth it, the money that she made. We actually talk about the money that she made from exactly what she did, which is really cool because I think sometimes, and what I really want to focus on this show, sometimes people sort of don't go into specifics, and when you're trying to think about a business idea or you're just curious about something, it's not like you're going to judge them necessarily, but it's just you want to know so that you can actually like think about something. But when someone ducks your question and says, how much does that make? Or how much time do you spend on that? And they say, oh, a little bit, or, oh, not that much time. It sort of doesn't let you build a picture up in your head because you're like, oh, well, okay, I don't know if he's spending 3 days on that or 3 minutes. And I don't know if he's making $100 or getting like 100 views or if he's getting $10,000. So, Rebecca, thank you for your transparency. Thank you for your business ideas. And I hope you guys enjoy this one. This is Ellen Ave, Side Hustle by Ellen Ave. Give me the ideas plus the how. Cheer. Okay. Welcome to Ellen Ave. Welcome back to the new sort of Ellen Ave, the new face of Ellen Ave, the new look of Ellen Ave, what we're doing in terms of the whole business chats, the side hustle chats. You're here with myself, Finn, and obviously, as you would have heard in that little intro before, Rebecca Marie. She's a really good mate of mine, and I'm stoked to have her here, so thanks for joining me. And I forget that we're videoing now on YouTube too, so if you like watching visuals and you want to have this on while you cook dinner, or like, I was going to say while you're driving, not while you're driving, or at the gym, that's not suitable either. It's more of a, if you're at home, chilling type beat. Check us out on YouTube as well, Ellen Ave, and when I say check us, I mean check me out on YouTube. There's that whole like that small energy, that small business. Check us out when it's just you. So yeah, if you sort of have seen Ellen Ave, you'll know that I've taken a pivot to more focusing on the business, the making money, the side hustles, and still haven't nailed the name. By the time you hear this, I will have. At the moment, it's My First Side Hustle by Ellen Ave or Side Hustles by Ellen Ave. Rebecca she's not quite there with it yet, and I kind of agree with her. I'm not sure on it. It's okay, but I'm not sure on it, and that means I need to find something better. But we have nailed the description, and that's Start Your First Side Hustle with Ellen Ave. Deep diving into guest side hustles, my own, and brainstorming them as well. So it's sort of the ideas plus the how for you, hosted by myself and Barnett. So, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hey, hi.
Hey, hi, hello.
Yeah, come on, sort it out. There's your intro. So we're here today to talk about what you've done for the last few years to sort of get yourself through, make a little bit of cash on the side, pay your rent, do all those sorts of things, as opposed to if you hadn't have been doing those things to make that extra money. And as I sort of would have talked about in the intro, some of those main things you've been doing is obviously like uni for a bit and then Sustainzy and other things as well. So what I want to do today is literally just talk to you about those things that you're doing or have done, the ideas, how you got them, how you started them, what went well, what didn't, what you changed, like was it making you good money, was it not, was it worth it, what would you do if you were to do it again, etc. And as we talked about this could just never see the light of day. This interview, it also could be like super amazing, and I might want to put it out straight away and just be like, oh my God, I love this.
No pressure.
Do you want to just literally like list off the things that you've done and then we can just sort of pick one and run with it?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So after I left uni, I needed to make my money so that I could support myself. And I worked at a hot dog shop, sold secondhand clothes, made corsets, made other clothes. What else did I do?
So hot dogs, hold up. So hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
and then like made and sold corsets.
Yep.
What is it? I'm trying to think of a corset right now.
Corset tops are like the ones that like they've been really trendy at the moment, and they tie up at the back and they've got boning in them, like those ones.
Yes, those things.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah. So I jumped on that and started making those, selling secondhand clothes on Depop or Trade Me, just like flipping them. And then thrift flipping clothes and selling those. What else have I done? Then
YouTube? Did you
yeah,
say
my
YouTube?
YouTube,
Yeah.
and now partnerships and some work for TVNZ. Probably like the main ones.
Jeez. That's cool. So if you are not from New Zealand, TVNZ is like literally TV New Zealand. So it's like the New Zealand, I don't know, like TV organisation.
Yeah, main
So
one.
she's really about that life. Let's literally go like in that order. So you had hot dogs, corsets, secondhand on like Depop/Trade Me. And I know that one's a low-key banger for you. And then YouTube and then the partnerships and stuff.
Yep.
Hot dogs. What was this idea? What was it? Like, was it a...
Well, it was
did you do it? Was it like a low-key job? Like, what
someone's
was
job.
It?
It was like someone else's business, and I needed a job really quickly because I was still living in Wellington. Obviously, really expensive to live anywhere, really, but Wellington is definitely very expensive. And so I started working part-time at this hot dog stand. Definitely wasn't glamorous. I always smell like hot dogs. But yeah, it was 3-4 days a week, just in the mornings. So it meant that I had the afternoons to work on whatever I wanted to. Get up, go down there, open, close within like 4 hours, and then come home.
So it was like 4
have the
hours
rest
a
of it.
day for 4 days a week.
Yeah, I think it might have been 5 days a week. I think it was all the weekdays then.
Oh, so it was like literally like 20 to 25 hours a week. How much
Yeah.
was it? Like, did it pay you much? Was it all
It
good,
paid.
or-
It paid for me to live on. So there wasn't much saving, but
Yeah.
it was enough to pay my rent and my food.
Yeah.
And yeah, so live off of it. And then the afternoons, obviously, more time to side hustle on more important things and stuff that could make the fun money. So like my point of having like a job was that the job pays for living and living, like not the fun stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have to work for the fun stuff. So like you had to do the extra,
I like that
work.
because it's like that whole safety net of, like, you know how some people are like, I'm going to go all out there. And some people like burn the bridges and burn the boats and it's mean and it works for them.
Yeah.
But other people need to step into it more, and that's where like having a certain amount of fixed income per week from like a job, no matter what it is, means that, okay, like I'm going to spend 20 hours a week like doing this sort of thing. This is going to get me some definite cash.
Yeah.
And then work on like other things as well, or build up other things as well. And I also like that because when you think of like, how can I make some extra money? Sometimes people go straight to having like a little business on the side or selling stuff on the side. And you forget that in my opinion, one of the most easiest ways to make extra money on the side is literally to trade time for money through something like a job.
Yeah.
And you know that if I work for 4 hours, even if it's minimum wage of like, let's say $20, that's a guaranteed $80 at the end of that shift, or like at the end of the week, you know, and people sort of forget that.
100%.
Like if I move on from F45, which I eventually will, like I imagine at some point I eventually will leave F45 and get an office job, I would probably stay at F45 and go 2 days a week as a side hustle because I enjoy it and it's guaranteed. I trade 4 hours of my time or 10 hours of my time and I'm getting cash, you know.
I mean, it removes the stress as well. Like the reason I dropped out of uni was to work on Sustainzy and had to support that somehow. And I feel like the pressure of running your own business is already quite high and the stress of that is already quite high. So if you can just go and get the money that you need to live, like having to worry about that shouldn't be something you should be worrying about. Your energy should be in your business. And so like I didn't want to go and cook hot dogs, but it's better for your mental health as well to just do it, get that pressure off, and then you can put all your energy into the stuff that you actually care about.
100%. Banging. Okay,
Banging.
next one was corsets.
Yeah. Okay, so actually after the hot dogs, I met my mentor. That's when I met Jenny.
Right.
And she thought I was interesting because I worked at a hot dog shop, which was a big perk. So if that didn't happen, probably wouldn't be where I am now.
Grateful.
Yeah, very grateful. Fritz Wieners, thank you. And she got me a job at Native Sparkling. So I did another like part-time thing, but it was less hours. And eventually I phased out of that and went back to doing all the other side hustles. But yeah, so went from one job to another job. Didn't just go from Fritz Wieners to the next one.
Yeah.
But at the same time as doing Fritz Wieners, I was making corsets. And so I saw they were getting really popular on everything. And I was like, I can make these, because I'd made one for a party like a year before and got so many compliments. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can do that. I can sell them for quite a bit, make them customizable with all my like fabric scraps. And they were super sustainable because they were made from like whole bed sheets and stuff from the thrift store. So super cheap to get the fabric, get the supplies. It was just my time to make them. So just sit and make them in the evenings and then sell them on my Depop. And then you could get a custom one. Like I had a picture of all of the different fabrics and all the different options, and then people would order them how they wanted. And so then it was worth spending the extra money, and was no extra difficulty for me because I didn't have any stock. I'd just make them when they wanted them.
Made them to order anyways.
Yeah.
See, like, to me, when I think of that, I'm like, oh, that's so much effort. Like, I wouldn't do that. Like, was it heaps of effort, or was it you it's kind of up your alley, that sort of stuff anyways, right?
Yeah. Like I love sewing, and I feel like when I am really busy, I don't have much time to sew. And so when I was doing it, it was quite nice because it was like I actually got to use my sewing machine, got to sit down.
To pretty much
you just sit, like a little bit of Netflix on in the background. Like it's a fun hobby to have. And they were selling for like 100, 110 a corset.
And that was just standard rate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's great. Like obviously
how long do you
users
think you spent on one? Like how many could you crank out?
I did some Halloween costumes for some of my friends one time. So I think there was 4 of them, and they probably took me like 2 days. But then that's also like in the afternoons type thing. So I don't know. They definitely, it wasn't a good hourly rate for me.
Oh,
but if you think about it, like to get an extra grand for Sustainsy's capital, I only had to sell 10. So my time is worth that just to get an extra grand into Sustainzy.
Yeah.
So I thought that the trade-off was worth it.
Yeah, that is a cool way to look at it, right?
Yeah.
Because you can be like, oh, this is actually a terrible trade of time, like as opposed to if I worked blah, blah, blah. But then also if you don't mind doing it, and if you have a goal in mind in terms of capital versus more money, you're like, I need to make this much extra money for a certain thing. Yeah, it's a cool way to look at it.
Yeah, like I'd rather sit and watch Netflix and sew for a grand for Sustainzy than pick up an extra loads of hours at another thing like the hot dog shop. So it's just like,
knowing that
cool.
too.
Yeah.
Knowing that you would do that over that, and having that sort of self-knowledge that you would do it is a good thing as well before just, randomly doing it.
100%.
Are you still doing the corsets?
Nah, if people order them, they're on my Depop, but honestly, I'm too busy now to spend. Now that is no longer. Now it's not worth it anymore, and now my hours are worth a lot more than that. So it's just knowing what you're worth. Yeah,
knowing what you're worth and knowing where to put that.
Like at the time, that was worth it, but you had to do that to build to be worth more now, right?
Yeah,
so
100%.
Yeah,
I rate it. So corsets, hot dogs, Depop. You mentioned it just before, and that's the next one on our list. Depop.
So when I first started like my business journey, I used to sell clothes when I was like younger, like back in like year 12 on Trade Me, and just thrifted them and sold them, or out of my wardrobe. I had way too many clothes, and I didn't view it as a business back then. It was just kind of like a bit of pocket money, bit of fun.
Just literally like find old clothes and.
Yeah, like it wasn't really like, I didn't even really talk about it or anything, but I have done it for a while. And then I came to uni, and when I was in uni, I was doing part-time so that I could work on Sustainzy as well. But I went to uni in 2020, which is when COVID hit, and so I couldn't even run Sustainzy. And so then I didn't do any business, and I realized that I was getting like pretty depresso, pretty like not good without any business in my life. And so I started reselling clothes again, and was doing it on Depop this time and taking really good photos of the clothes, because if you don't know what Depop is, it's like Instagram and Trade Me combined into one. So it's like, it's laid out like a Instagram feed, sort of. You have like a feed on there, but you can go through and make offers, message the sellers, go through someone's whole profile. And so I made like a really nice looking page and grew it quite quickly because you can get a lot of followers on there. Yeah.
What's like, I have no clue what follower count would be on there. Like what?
I've got like 1,000 followers on there.
Oh, really?
And yeah.
Is it sort of like girls vibes?
Yeah, mainly I think it's like, especially in New Zealand, it's quite small still, so it's a big thing.
Is it big overseas?
Yeah, which is why I jumped on it, because I was like, if it comes here, I'm already going to be at the top,
Yeah,
which
right,
was
I
the
see.
goal. It actually didn't grow like I hoped it would over here, but one day it'll probably kick off. But yeah, it's huge overseas. Like Emma Chamberlain and stuff are all on it, so it became yeah. That's how I found out about it. Yeah, so it's definitely a lot of females. I think overseas it's probably a lot more like guys and girls stuff, but over here it's mainly girls stuff and
How
very
much
limited.
money were you making off it? Like, was it?
In a good time, it was probably like a couple hundred a week. Like it was like
Sheesh.
pretty good. Like a bunch of orders. Like my courier would come and there'd be like a stack of them.
Damn.
Yeah, so it was definitely worth it when I was actually committing to it properly. And I do like monthly drops, so I'd go out and be
Oh, yeah.
thrifting and constantly doing it, and then have a day of shooting all the content, day of writing out all of the descriptions. Yeah, it was good. And I'd had like an Instagram to go along with it, so people could see when there were new drops and do reels about it.
Do you think the trade for time versus money there was good, or do you reckon it was sort of same as the sewing with corsets? Like, might not have been good, but it was a good way to spend your time, but also get paid for it.
I think that it's still a good one. I think that now I can't do it as easily because I can't allocate a whole day to it anymore. Like it's not worth it from that point of view, but I'd love to like take someone on to help me do that in the future, because I think it is good, worth your money.
Wellingtonians.
Yeah.
Get it.
Come at me. But yeah, I do think it's definitely worth it, because the amount you can flip them for is worth it. And I also am so passionate about sustainable fashion that it also, that ties into it. Like it's just like, it's easier for me, and it's putting it out there into the world and showing people how easy it is to buy your sustainable fashion. So I think that, I don't know, also like your values tie into it,
Yeah.
because it's worth it. It is more worth it than the corsets are, but it was also better for the environment. So then I'm more passionate about it, which also makes me feel like it's more worth it.
Did you sort of find like good little spots in Wellington that you'd always go to for it, or did you always find like different? One thing I've learned from Rorps is never ask a reseller where they get their goods from, because then it dries up.
Literally.
So I won't ask where, but did you find like some places that you would sort of always rotate through, or
Yeah.
like how easy was it to find those places?
I'm also constantly on Trade Me. I look on Trade Me every day, or used to. And so I'd have my key searches that I knew what I was searching for. And then I just go through, because I'd look at it every day, I just go through the newest listings every day. And it only takes you 5 minutes because you look at it every day. And so I'd find the best ones, like before other people even knew they were on the app.
And just get them.
Yeah, and they'd just be arriving. Yeah, and then also that was good thrift stores, and I think finding your local thrift store with the best prices, or you like the more you thrift, the more you know where is the best or where is gonna rip you off. So
Right.
yeah, I can't really remember now, but there definitely were places that were the ones. Yeah.
So the Depop / Trade Me stuff and the corset were both like bangers for making money. Not always necessarily the best trade for time, but if it was worth it to you, it was like worth it. But now you wouldn't do it because better things to do. And those were quite like active things, like in terms of what you're doing with your time. It took effort and energy, and sometimes like you probably wouldn't even consider being like, oh, I spent like 10 hours this week at the stores, but I made like $20 because I sold this thing and I didn't do anything when I sold it. There's a passive thing that you have though, which is, well, it's not passive, but it like can build to be passive, right? And that's YouTube.
Yeah, it kind of is passive right now. Yeah.
What's
so,
like, tell me about YouTube, because you know what I thought? I genuinely thought like the whole idea of being able to pop off on YouTube was low-key dead. Like I was like, there's those people like Mr. Beast and those people that sort of emulate that and the David Dobrik energy that somehow pop off and get to that 100K, and then once they get there, they blow up. But I was like, it just doesn't seem real anymore to be able to do that. But it's so buzzy because it's actually becoming just more and more accepted that that's a career path.
Yeah.
At the same time that it gets more and more and more competitive.
100%. I also think it's become less competitive though now, because people aren't viewing it as like TikTok's taken over, right? Like short form video is taken over. So there are less YouTubers. So like if you do commit to it properly and you did find your niche, like there isn't that many people. there's less people watching it, but if you do find people who do want to watch you, they will come for you rather than
Well,
like finding you randomly.
This is what I sent you that podcast about.
Oh.
So these guys, Colin and Samir, have been on YouTube for ages. Like, they were YouTube OGs. They are what like sparked the whole live streaming stuff on YouTube in terms of like sports, being able to watch sports live. Because they did like, it was like ice hockey or something like stupid. Lacrosse. It was lacrosse. They made like a YouTube lacrosse.
No offense to that.
Like, sorry, like it was just like random. It was random sport for a New Zealander. Shout out to the USA people that listen to this. Lacrosse is probably like their main sport. Anyways, they started like this YouTube channel and it like popped off, but it popped off for a very niche audience.
Yeah.
And then they were like making money off ads and stuff, but then they basically went and got the rights to do like high school games, then college games,
Cool.
etc. That popped off. And like YouTube was really interested in that. Anyways, they popped off, they become like YouTube OGs, like made like a bit of money and then started a talk show. And they, anyways, were on this podcast I was listening to, and they like know a lot about YouTube. And they were saying, they got asked about TikTok and they were like, well, TikTok's great, right? Like, it's heaps of... But you could take all of the best creators out of TikTok and people would still love TikTok because TikTok is so good at putting content in front of them.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter whether I love Rebecca Marie. Like, if she gets taken off, like, the stuff that gets put in front of me, I'm still going to love.
You'll replace
because
the
it knows,
person
it
immediately.
knows what I like. So it doesn't matter. It's not like a person's platform. It's a content platform.
Yeah.
Whereas YouTube, you go there and you watch for the person.
Yeah.
Like, you don't search on TikTok. You don't search Rebecca Marie.
No, it's just
watch.
if I
It just
happen to
puts in
pop
front
up,
of
it's
you,
like, oh yeah, cool.
But on YouTube, you'll be like, okay, I want to watch Rebecca's new video.
Yeah.
Or you'll go to her channel. So they were saying that and I listened to it and I was like, damn, that is bars.
Yeah,
So,
it's
like,
so
YouTube,
true.
It's just one of those things that was like, I need to be putting this up on YouTube so people can
100%.
listen if they want to listen to me.
Yeah.
Like, the short form stuff like TikTok is going to get you there. But anyways, so you have a YouTube channel.
I do.
Let's talk about it, because it went from you were doing all these different things to try to see what people liked. And you're like, I want to get to, was it 1,000 subscribers you were trying to get to?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Yeah.
And you literally had like 100 and then a couple hundred. And you're like, oh my gosh, like my YouTube's doing well. And I was like, oh, I love you, but you got like a couple hundred subs, like chill out, you know, like. And then you got close and like, I want to monetize it. And I was like, you're going to monetize it and get like 1 cent. Like, I fully back you all
I mean,
the
I
way.
kind of thought the same thing, eh?
But like right now, like, just there's not going to be that much, right? And you've just kept with it throughout that whole time and stayed true to yourself and backed yourself, which I rate, and got your 1,000 subs, started getting paychecks, and it's actually decent, eh? Like, it's not like $1 million,
But it's not 1 cent. Yeah.
You were telling me, you're like, oh, I'm actually getting money, and I was like, what is it, like 30 cents? And you're like, no, it's how much was it?
So when I started, it was, so you get it in monthly chunks, and then in your analytics you can see the breakdown. I'll pull it up in a second.
Yeah.
But just like for the record, you should go like and subscribe. It's Rebecca Marie, and there is so not what I was gonna say. Yeah. But we've got 1.17k subscribers, and my channel in total has had 161,000 views. So pretty decent. I've been posting
161k.
Yeah.
That's bonkers.
That's imagine like that many people in a room, like looking at me.
That's
It's
so
weird.
crazy that over time that many people.
Yeah.
And it's even buzzier. Like, TikTok is the best way of looking at that I reckon. Like, you can see people that have like 7k, but they've got like 1 million views or like that many likes. It's like, wait, what? It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Just because you don't have like the subs or the followers doesn't mean you haven't reached that many people. So you've literally got your videos in front of being viewed like 161,000 times.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Pretty cool. Like one video is responsible for like 50,000 of those views.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
you can pop off on YouTube.
you find look at that. That's from one video.
One video's made you how much?
$192.
Damn, that's the 50k one.
Yeah.
That
So that's
is
my
crazy.
So when I was doing it, I started consistently posting about a year and a half ago. When I turned 20, I decided I wanted to do like commit.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little bit before that. I honestly can't remember. But started posting weekly, and it was like sustainable fashion stuff. And then because when I was in hauls, I made a few videos about like which haul is right for you, and just some like uni themed ones, and then some flatting themed ones. And those ones started doing really good. So it's obviously not what I wanted to blow up, but it started getting me out there, and then people found my content, then they found my Instagram. And the reason I do all my different social platforms and then my Depop is so that it all goes in a circle. And I think we talked about this when I was on Ellen Ave before.
Yeah.
But everything just goes in a cycle, and that was the goal. And yeah, so people started finding it, and when you hit a niche with it, so obviously a uni video, people are moving into hauls every year. So there is a new batch of people who look about 3 times a year. It's like the middle when they start talking about it, just before they move in and they're getting excited, or like there's just so many times when that's going to be relevant. And so it always blows up and just keeps bringing in that revenue. So
it's evergreen, right?
Yeah.
That's like a good reason not to, like, having trendy stuff is cool because people always jump to it. But if you have something like, if you're being smart and you're like, okay, I'm going to have a YouTube channel, I'm going to try to do this stuff. Having stuff like that, which is evergreen, means that once you're monetized, when people come back 3 times a year and that video just keeps going, it'll just keep bringing in that money versus like did you hear Logan Paul wants to fight KSI? And that's like a 1 month thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely. So it's really good. So yeah, when I signed up, you get like a monthly payment. I actually only just finished signing up, and I got the first paycheck in my bank account like last month. It was so cool. So now I've got like my bank account just with my YouTube money in it, which is just so cool to see. Because I was like, I kind of want to see after a year like how much I get out of it. Obviously, I could go and just like look, but it's kind of satisfying to see it there.
Bank account,
yeah. But when I first started, I got $40 in the first month, and then every other month I've got a variety. It depends if one of those videos is trending, if it's like the right time of the year for it. Like the O-Week toga video, which is the one that we were just talking about, the $50,000 one. $50,000. Oh my God, $50,000. That'd be nice. Amazing. 50,000 views.
That's New Zealand,
Manifesting. Right? Yeah. Oh, is it? It might be. Yeah, no, I think it's New Zealand. What was I even saying? I just threw myself off just by getting it wrong. 50K. I did. I just got mind blown.
But you were saying like when?
Oh, because people come back to look at it. Yeah, when people.
Like you got $40, and then it depends based on.
Yeah, so either get like $40 to $100 a month, depending on what time of the year it is and how many people are there. And if
$40 to $100 a month usually.
Yeah.
And that's off like how many views a month do you reckon?
I can check. I think I get about like 6,000 views a month. Just like I haven't been posting for the last 2 months because I've had other things that we'll get to talking about later. And it hasn't been a priority. But my channel has now just been growing on its own. So I've gone up like 200 subscribers without posting.
Once you get to a point that stuff just snowballs,
Yeah.
And it's like the more... Yeah, I saw this thing on YouTube, and it's the same for any like sort of long form content or content. Like it's the same for podcasting. Once you get to a point like those videos, if anyone, I'm sure everyone listening to this podcast has heard of like passive income and, you know, put your money in a fund, in an index fund, and it'll pay you dividends without you doing anything. And then you put that back in and it just grows and it grows and it grows. Like there's passive income. I actually used to call it something else, but I can't think of it right now. It's my bedtime. But it's like you literally get passive views and passive like sort of income in terms of views and subscribers and people interested with content too. Like it just goes up over time. Like same as my podcast. Like I put it out and in the first week it gets downloads, but then a year later, 2 years later, it's still getting downloads.
It's really cool.
Like that one that popped off, you know, like it's just like really random.
But it does it.
Yeah. Oh, well, like they won't, like one of them, they travel one. There's that travel series that we did. The first one popped off straight away. The second one in the first 2 weeks got like no downloads. And I was like, oh. And then when I checked it last week, because I was like, oh, I got no downloads, it got like way more downloads. I was like, oh, damn, crazy.
Yeah, that's so great. And it's like, if you just have it there, right? Like you have to put the work in at the beginning. But it's like, yeah, I've had 2 months off, but now I have got monetized and I like hit that point.
Money, baby.
Yeah, I can like look in there and I'm like, oh, cool, I am still getting $60 a month without even posting fresh content. Not saying I'm not going to post more content. I am actually getting back into that now, but it's definitely cool to see that it can just work for you once you get to that point.
I have one more question on the YouTube. How much time do you reckon you spend on each video? And how long are the videos that you make?
Okay. Really depends. I put a lot of work into editing them. So, yeah. It kind of depends. Like, some of the fashion ones are quite easy because it's like an unboxing. Just unbox it and then there's a little clip of me, like, in front of the camera trying it on. But then some, like the uni ones, there was some where I got like loads of people involved. So I got someone from every hall that took ages to organize them, give them the scripts, edit them all down, and then edit them all together, put in...
Couple
like,
days at least,
yeah. Like, it's a long time. And my laptop isn't very good either. I use iMovie, so it's like a slow process. Yeah. So it depends. Like, it could be an evening, 4 hours, probably average like 8 hours per video.
Yeah.
But it's like, it is a lot. So you do have to
It's a lot of upfront.
Yeah.
It's a lot of upfront. The only thing is, though, is that you could spend 8 hours thrifting or you could spend like 8 hours doing corsets. Same thing, it's upfront work, except this upfront work will keep paying you like onwards, right? So
I think definitely important to add though about YouTube is like, yeah, it sounds better like that, but it's also like you do have to find that niche. Like, who would have known what happened if I didn't do those uni videos, and then I wouldn't have got the spike in the subscribers. And like, I had to push so hard for my last 200 subscribers. Can you remember?
Yes.
I literally was like walking around
me.
the streets of Wellington with like a sign, going up to random people, made TikToks about how I was like on the street being like, because I saw that YouTube was running ads on my videos. So I was like, these are going to make bank because they've chosen to run ads on my videos. Like, they don't have to, but they are. And I was like, I want that money. So I was like, cool, I'm taking it into my own hands. Literally, I was harassing everyone about it. It was all over my socials every day, but finally did it. So it's definitely it's not super easy and it is hard. But if you are ready to get dedicated to it and find that niche, like, you can.
yeah, like podcasting. Shout out Ellen Ave Media or Ellen Ave Podcast, whatever it is. Search up just Ellen Ave on YouTube. It'll be there. So, hot dogs, corsets, Depop, YouTube. Have you done other stuff?
I did my rentals before, but that was just for pocket money as well.
Just for pocket money as well.
Yeah.
Is there anything, like, because I'm actually really happy with this. So, is there anything that you would do now? Like, is there anything that you would look at doing right now? Or is there anything that you would have changed about what you've done in the past in terms of, like, looking for ways to make extra cash?
No, I quite like all of them.
What you've done?
Yeah.
What about right now? Is there opportunities you see right now?
Right now, I'm going to work more on the partnership stuff I'm doing at the moment, because that's been really good and good for building my personal brand, which then supports everything. Once again, goes in that cycle. As soon as you build one, you build the other ones. And I've recently changed my personal brand, so it's a lot more aligned with where I want to go. So I think I'm going to start a podcast too, which seems, I don't know, very different.
Something Sunshine. What's it called?
The Align and Sunshine Club.
The Lion and Sunshine Club, baby.
Very excited.
We've been going over the podcast stuff.
Yeah, we had a little lesson.
So that's a side hustle of itself.
Yeah, so I feel like doing that, because then that goes with personal brand, right? Like, it's like, want to grow. So right now, my side hustle
is literally
is
leveraging
my
your
personal brand
because you've built that up.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. So we got hot dogs, corsets, selling clothes, looking on Trade Me for them, finding like old bed sheets and turning them into stuff. We got spending hours on YouTube just to make some cash. And the thing is like, it's not always going to work out, but those are all sort of pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but like pretty like doable, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Anybody can do that. I film on my phone for my YouTube as well. Like, there is no cost that was incurred when I started. I use my iMovie, I use my phone. Like, I use a mix of Canva, Photoshop, and everything to do my branding. Like, people message me and they're like, what do you use to like edit your videos? I'm like, iMovie, Canva. Like, it's possible to do on anything. And so it's like, so many people come up with excuses. Oh, I couldn't do a YouTube channel. It's like, why not? You literally just have to sit in front of your phone.
Why not? I like that. Thank you so much for coming to Ellen Ave. Thank you so much for sharing these little cash-making ideas, little side hustles. It's cool to talk to... I love talking to you about all this stuff anyways, but it's cool to talk to you because you've actually done it and you've made some cash over it, and it's actually... We were having a conversation earlier about people who talk about stuff that they want to do and people who actually do it, and you're one of those people that's actually done it, so good on you. Thanks for coming on the show. If you guys want to hear more of her, check her out. You want to plug all the places they can find you?
Yeah, let's go. Okay.
Okay.
Here's the list. Instagram, it's Rebecca Marie. It's Rebecca Marie on most things. The it's is like part of it. So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok is by Rebecca Marie because somebody else has my username.
Ugh.
I know, I'm so upset about it, but I guess it's like TikTok's by Rebecca Marie. Makes sense. And my website is rebeccamarie.co.nz if you want to reach out. And of course, sustainable bikinis. Sustainable bikinis at sustainz.com.
Nice. Alrighty, that's the potty. Thanks for listening in. Catch you next week. Chat.
Is that good? You happy with that?
Yeah, I really like
I feel like that actually went quite nicely.
Yeah, I actually like that a lot.
Yeah?
Although this stopped recording. I think it's got...
No.